We are Ann Arbor's Talk Station, 1290 WLBY. Damian on Design on the air each Saturday on the Lucy Anne Land Show with Damian Farrell from Damian Farrell Design Group. I love meeting students, and today we've got a great student here who
huge talent, eh?
Yeah, is in the process of getting some international acclaim. We welcome back today on your show Vincent Carducci, who is the Dean of Undergraduate Studies at the College for Creative Studies.
Hi.
Nice to have you back with us. We were so entertained by your stories when you were here last time.
Great time. We had a great time.
Yeah,
We really did.
And the impact that the center is having on Detroit and on the state of Michigan and the caliber of your students coming out, pretty incredible.
We're pretty pleased with the way things are going. You know, College for Creative Studies is very heavily involved in things that are happening in the city, and it's, as we've talked in the last show, great things happening, and we're happy to be part of it. We've got even more exciting things to come, and we're turning out people like Samantha who are going to do us proud.
Samantha Mast is a finalist in an international competition. Tell us about this competition.
All right, well, this competition is the Design Next competition run by SURTEX, and the whole point of this year's theme was designing for the year 2020 and kind of forecasting what urban life will look like. So,
how did you wrap your arms around that? How did you? What did you do?
That's interesting. I really looked at this kind of interface that's going on right now with technology. And in my eyes, in 2020, that will, this interface will have a more seamless connection between urban life and rural life. So I was really abstracting these kind of ideas in my patterns.
You write, urban life in 2020 will be a society which interacts with technology and the natural environment as one in the same interface. Elements of the urban and rural lifestyle will connect through a series of related concepts. That is really key, because when you look at people, whether they live in a suburb or they're out in the country, they're all trying to do the same thing right now. We're all recycling. We're all trying to figure out what to do with our water and saving our resources. And that's what you're really talking about.
Absolutely. Here. And the way we kind of find our way through this new kind of work age, the way we are interacting with our technology, our phones, our internet, is all kind of connecting people in a new environment.
And trying to do it more seamlessly, I think.
Absolutely.
I think that's the biggest problem with gadgets and all these things that we have today and how we fit them into our lives.
It's interesting the way these patterns do reflect city grids, and we were even talking about computer chips before the show, and some of those images of everything that we associate with our lives these days.
When you first saw her designs and what she did for this competition here, I mean, I'm looking at clips, paper clip type things. I'm looking at it looks like, is this a writing kit of some kind that you can put your pencils and that sort of thing? When you first saw what she did here, very colorful, very bold, very graphic, what did you think, Vince?
Well, first of all, I was taken by just the sensitivity to form and color and pattern. And the other thing that I thought was really great about it was the fact that it's scalable. So you could use these in a lot of applications. You could make some slight adjustments, and it could be a textile design. It could be something that would be part of an architectural installation.
So
it
fresh.
could be, yeah. It's looking to the future, and certainly the way in which the biomimicry is coming into play now, and more devices are being intuitive, and they're proliferating in every aspect of our lives. So that human and technological interface is, I think, the key kind of idea of our moment, and it will be for years to come.
These are home stationery accessories that our guest has designed here today, Samantha Mast, and the Dean of the College of Creative Studies, Vince Carducci, with us on Damian on Design with Damian Farrell. And I love the play on words here. Urban flow. Ebb and flow. That's really clever. It's ebb with the word herb in parentheses there, urban flow. Very, very nice. Is this something that you think you could market?
Absolutely. That's the whole aspect of the show. Yeah, the SURTEX competition is a series of, I think there's 6,000 people who are companies that will be there, and 1,000 other artists, and it's all about kind of showing what's new and trending on the market, and they choose winners based on what could be marketable and what people would want to buy.
Will they pick this up, Vince? Will a company pick this up?
It's quite possible that someone will see Samantha's work and will want to put it in production. And in fact, quite frankly, she's already got plenty of people sniffing around her portfolio.
Really?
Fantastic, isn't it?
I just opened up this next brochure of yours. This is beautiful. Decorative pillows. You have curtains that you made. You call them Wayfind curtains?
Wayfind. That was the name of the pattern.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Really lovely.
I recolored them for home interiors because obviously you wouldn't necessarily want the colors that's on your stationery in your home. It'd be a little jarring. When I went to the ITMA industry tour, which is the International Textile Market Association, a few weeks ago, and they did a portfolio review, so I wanted to throw in a little bit of home interiors to show them that these patterns were, of course, applicable in a number of situations.
So the whole world of fabric and weave and print and so on, there's so much tradition around it, right? From really around the turn of the century, the arts and crafts movement really brought all of this to the forefront, to the idea of decoration, right, in our homes and our lives. How's that changed now with what you're doing in your life at the moment? Is it very different from what happened back then and how things were done back then?
Well, I feel like the design process, of course, now, as we've been covering technology, that helps the process kind of speed along quicker. Trends change much faster than they did back in the arts and crafts movement, of course.
Yeah.
But I think the artist's connection with their patterns and connection with their customers and the demographics they're hitting hasn't changed as much.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, our process and how we go about designing is definitely influenced by the tools we have now.
Yeah.
And this is something I have never understood. This is the chicken and egg question. When we see something in a store, a decorative pillow, whatever it may be, something for your desk to hold your pencils, where did that design come from? Is it coming from the street, or is it from these designers first, or how do you know? And you were designing for 2020. Mm-hmm. You have very bold, very graphic things, which are actually kind of in right now. Black and white's really big for spring. You're using a lot of color in yours, very bold color, but
absolutely,
I don't understand where the idea comes from.
Well, a lot of that is research into who you're designing for, what you're designing, trends, forecasting, what you think people might want, which is quite an interesting concept all in itself, and looking towards the past. A lot of my designs, you could start from a small sketch, could start from any piece of artwork, really, whether you design that yourself or you're inspired by somebody else or it's a sculpture. A lot of these kind of can be born from a number of situations.
Well, it's like when they come out and they tell you about the color of the year. This is the color that's going to be in everyone's home, or this is, who made that idea?
Well, there are people who are trend forecasters, and they study culture, they study technology, they study materials, and so it's a pretty interesting process. And in fact, we're going to be getting into it in a bigger way starting next year. We are going to be launching an MFA program in color and materials, and we think it's the first such program of its kind. There are typically people come out of either interior design or fiber design to or things like that to get into these kinds of areas where, and now everything, again, design is a crucial part of every single thing that's out there. But there's no one place to go to look at, again, what are the colors that are emerging, what are the materials that are coming out, and so we have actually lots of people in industry who are really excited about this program. In the car companies, there is something called color and trim. These are the people who do things on the inside of the car.
Yeah.
What does the upholstery of the seat look like? What does the instrument panel look like? But these things are now being applied much more broadly because, again, so much of our daily lives are interacting with different types of machines and objects, and so having a place where you can study that in an academic way